start this lecture. See, in the last class, what we covered is what are the approaches to knowledge representation, means how you can represent the knowledge. There are four ways: simple rational knowledge, inheritable knowledge, and inferential knowledge and procedural knowledge. This is what we covered in the last class. Now, in the today's class, we are going to do, what are the various techniques of knowledge representation, means how what are the various techniques, means how the knowledge is represented. So there are four main techniques. One is logical representation, another one is semantic network representation, third one is frame representation, then production rules. Now how these techniques will help to represent knowledge, let me see. So this is a diagram. First of all, the same thing that this diagram depicts the same thing as mentioned above. There are four techniques: logical, semantic, production, and frame. So let's start with the first one, logical representation. Now, logical representation. See, the name, as the name suggested, it is a language with some concrete rules, which deals with the propositions and has no ambiguity in the representation. So logical representation means drawing a conclusion based on various conditions. This representation lays down some important communication rules. It consists of precisely defined syntax and semantics, which supports the sound inference. Basically, logical representation is just like, like in English, there is a grammar, and the grammar has a certain set of rules, like the subject, object, and then verbs. Like, first of all, there is a subject, then the verb will become, then the object will become. So this is what we call a logical representation. In logical representation, it governs with certain set of rules, and there are two main terms associated with logical representation. One is syntax, and another is semantics. How these two are different from each other, let us see. Now, syntaxes are the rules which decides how we can construct legal sentences in a logic. Means there is a proper way. You have to write it in that way only. Then only it is correct. If it is not matched with the one which is pre-exist, then it is discarded. So syntax are the set of rules. Like in C++ language, when there is a syntax means it is a language which is written. The compiler is already has some predefined rules. When you write your own code, if you miss or you are far apart from that particular rule, then that particular program will be given as an error. So syntax, like if you missed semicolon, then it will give you a sort of error. So syntaxes are the rules which decide how we can construct a legal sentence in the logic. Just wait. And another thing is, it determines which symbol we can use in the knowledge representation and how to write those symbols. So this comes under the syntax. Now, what is semantic? Semantics are the rules by which we can interpret the sentence in the knowledge. See, these two things are different from each other. Syntaxes are the rules which decide, and semantics are the rules by which we can interpret the sentences in the logic. So semantic also involves assigning a meaning to each sentence. Semantic also involves assigning a meaning to each sentence. So this how two things are different. Syntax are the rules which decide how we can construct a legal sentence. Means there is a proper whether you have to put subject first, then verb, then object, then semicolon. So this is the rule that must be followed. If it is not followed, then your sentence is logically incorrect or your syntax is incorrect. And in semantics are the rules by which we can interpret the sentence in the logic. Means sometimes some logic is given to you, but we are not able to understand it properly. We are not able to inference it properly. So semantic is something, the rules by which we have to there is a reading rules also. So we may say by the syntax we have to construct. It is also called constructive. And semantics by which we interpret, that is what we called reading rules. So by which we can read the particular sentence. So logical representation is categorized into these two. This is very important, and these two definitely will be asked to you. One is propositional logic, and another one is predicate logic. So, in okay, let me close this. Okay, see, propositional logic and predicate logic. Now, propositional logic we already covered, but I will, once again, I will, cover it. Propositional logic. Propositional logic is something which is in the form of TTFF that we already do. Like P and Q are there are two variables, and various sort of truth tables can be formed, like P or Q, P and Q negate P, and P implies Q. So there are so many truth tables. We will so represent any sentence in the terms of these rules is comes under this propositional logic, and predicate logic is something which in which we have to represent the sentences in a different way, and how to represent the sentence in the predicate logic. Let's wait for another couple of classes. I will cover this predicate logic. Uh, so we will see it later on. So let me move forward. Advantages of logical representation. What is the advantage? How to why we want to represent our data in these. There is a advantages. So number one advantage is logical representation enable us to do logical reasoning, because if sentences like he is a man, he is a man, and all mans are handsome. So these like if we have sentences like this, and every time it has to be represented in the computer, so computers store it in a particular logic. By the particular logic, we can store these sentences either in the form of PQ, just coding these sentences in the form of P and Q, and by representing it in the form of P and Q, I mean they is either represented with the propositional logic, or represented with the predicate logic. Now, how these two are different from each other, so we will see it later on. But the advantage of logical representation is to save memory, or to save search, because if you put everything in your database like in this English sentences, it is very difficult for searching and to interpreting. So that is why for a computer, what we do, we represent the knowledge in the form of propositional or predicate logics. They are easy to track out. So logical representation is the basis for the programming language. That is why in programming also we are not writing simply like an English, like take two numbers, add them. Instead of this, we just have sentence syntaxes like int a b, then some a plus b. So this is the shortcut way of representing the knowledge. But still there are some disadvantages also. So what are the disadvantages? Number one is logical representation has some restriction and are challenging to work with. Sometimes like an operator overloading or something. Sometimes same sentence have a different meaning. So or same symbol have a different meaning. So that is sometimes problematic for the designer or the coder to use, because at that time, if to handle the operator overloadings, someone must be very much experienced into that field. Another disadvantage of the logical representation is this technique may not be very natural, and inference may not be so efficient. Sometimes I am saying now, as I told you, it is not just like a natural. Sometimes will the inference somebody will take wrongly. So this is the drawback or disadvantage with the logical representation. I hope everybody understand till this point. So the first one is a logical representation. It is a technique of a knowledge representation, and in knowledge representation, particularly in logic representation, there are two terms which are very important. One is syntax and another one is semantic. Syntax is something which is used to construct a sentence, and semantic is something which is used to interpret that particular sentence, or what we call the read that particular sentence. And the further logics are categorized into two: propositional and predicate. Propositional we just write the sentences in the terms of these PQ variables, and with these certain rules, we will see that rules later on. But with the help of that certain rules, we can represent that particular sentences. So, and then we learned about the advantages of logical representation. The advantages are that they enable us to do logical reasoning. Logical representation is the basis for the programming language, and disadvantages are that some restrictions and are challenging to the work with, and sometimes we inference wrongly from the particular sentence. So this is all about the logical technique. Now let me move towards very quickly towards the semantic network representation. See, semantic network, as the name suggested itself, it must have some sort of semantic structure. So we will see how it works. Semantic networks are the alternative to the predicate logic for a knowledge representation. In semantic network, we can represent our knowledge in the form of graphical networks. This network consists of nodes representing objects and arcs which describing the relationship, as you did it in your ER diagram, in entity relationship diagram. Similarly, there is a semantic network can categorize the object into different forms and can also be linked those objects. So semantic networks are easy to understand because it is a kind of ER diagram where entity and relationship is shown by the entities are shown by the nodes, and the arcs are shown are represented their relationship. So this represent consists of mainly two types of relation. One is a relation or kind of relation. So let us see these examples. Let us clarify this thing with example. Following are the some statement which we have to represent it through in the form of nodes and the arcs. So very first one is Jerry is a cat. Mind it, this may be asked to you in your exam. So Jerry is a cat. So Jerry is is Tom and Jerry. If you heard about that particular cartoon, and Jerry is a cat. So Jerry, then arrow is a relationship. Then what it is a cat. So Jerry is a mammal. So Jerry is a cat is a mammal. Then Jerry is owned by Priya. So now the Priya is another object. So that is why you have to create it differently. So Jerry and its relation with Priya is that the Priya is his owner, is the owner. Jerry is owned by the Priya. Jerry is brown colored. See, it is not here you have to mention it. You can Jerry is brown colored. So Jerry is colored white. It is wrongly written here. You have to write it white, brown. Now all mammals are animal. All mammals are animals. So all mammals is animal. So how you have to connect all the entities together with the relation shown on the arrows. So this is what we called semantic network representation. And maybe in the final exam you have provided with these kind of statements, and they will ask you to represent it with any one of the technique that so you can represent it with this, or maybe particularly they will ask you to represent the sentences with semantic semantic network representation. So you have to represent these sentences by this. I think this is very easy, everybody understand this. So let me go towards drawbacks of semantic representation. There are definitely some drawbacks also. Number one, semantic network takes more computational time, definitely, because you have to first of all create the tree, and then whenever you have to search about a particular term, you have to go through whole entire tree. So that is why it is little bit slow, or what we say, it will consume more computational time. Another point, semantic network try to model human-like memory, which has 1015 neurons and links to store the information. But in practice, it is not possible to build such a vast semantic network. So this is also, although we are able to create a semantic network with less number of neurons rather than 1051. So that is why it is not exactly that we want. It is something less productive than exactly what we want. So the third one is, these types of representation are inadequate as they do not have any equivalent quantifier for all, for some, none. This, because to represent for all, for some, it is not, can be done by the help of semantic. If I am saying all cats are Jerry, so this sentence can't be represented by semantic, or sometimes it is misunderstood if you try to represent it. So this is again a drawback. Semantic network do not have standard definition like names. This is again a drawback. These networks are not intelligent, depend upon the creator of the system. Again, this is a drawback. So apart from the various drawback, it has certain advantages. So let me go through the advantages. The first advantages is semantic network are natural representation of the knowledge. It's it try to represent the natural representation of particular language, but not exactly the same, because of the as we heard, as we learned here, it requires 1015 neurons, but due to the lack of proper neurons, semantic networks are a natural representation of the knowledge. So this is the advantage. Semantic networks convey meaning of the transparent manner, and these networks are simple and easily understandable. So these are the advantages. Apart from various disadvantages, let me quickly again tell you. This is another semantic network representation is another technique of knowledge representation. In semantic network representation, you have to learn that the entities, the objects are represented by the entities, and the arrows are represented your relation. So this how you have to, if the statements can be created in the form of semantic tree, which will be further used for knowledge based representation. So the only drawback with this is that it is very complex. Sentences are more, so every time you have to upload the complete tree if you want to fetch some information out of this. So that is why it is a time consuming. So I think with these two, you don't have any issue or don't have any problem. Let me ask somebody if they have any question. If you have any question, you may ask me. Anyone, any question? Okay, I think nobody have no question till now. Yes, Anurag, please.
सर जैसे इज अ रिलेशन इनहेरिटेंस एंड काइंड ऑफ रिलेशन, सो इन दोनों में से ब्रॉड टर्म कौन सी होगी सर?
दोनों की इक्वल वेटेज है. इज अ रिलेशन और काइंड ऑफ दोनों की इक्वल वेटेज है. इसमें वो ये जो उसे ये बताया है जस्ट यहाँ पे कि वो जो एरो के ऊपर आपने रिलेशन लिखना है वो क्या लिखना है, कि वो इज अ रिलेशन है या काइंड ऑफ रिलेशन है. जैसे कि यहाँ पे ये इज अ रिलेशन हो गया, यहाँ पे इज काइंड ओन्ड ऑनर और कलर्ड. तो उसे बोला कि दो तरीके के रिलेशन ही लिखते हैं बेसिकली.
ओके
राइट. ओके. सो
मैच दो ही तरह के ले सकते हैं, मतलब
हाँ,
यही दोनों में से एक लेंगे
पर्टिकुलरली. हाँ, होंगे यही दो, या तो वो वर्ब से कनेक्टेड होगा या फिर कोई उसके अंदर रिलेशन होगा प्रॉपर, कुछ और होगा ही नहीं. दैट इज़ वाई इसके अंदर नहीं होता, और दैट इज़ वाई दिस इज़ द लिमिटेशन. इसके अंदर हम फॉर ऑल सम ये सब नहीं कर सकते. अगर हमें कहीं पे सम दिखाना है, ऑल दिखाना है, यू सी हियर इट इज़ मेंशन्ड हियर थर्ड पॉइंट, फॉर ऑल, फॉर सम, फॉर नन, वी कांट हैव एनी रिलेशन. सो सिमेंटिक वहाँ पे फेल हो जाता है. So that is why we have some another arguments. So okay, very good questions. So let me quickly move towards the next one, the frame representation. Now frame representation is what? We already did it in how to represent knowledge base earlier in the last class. Frame representation is also kind of the same thing. Frame representation is a record like structure which consists of collection of attributes and its value describes an entity in the world. Frames are the artificial intelligence data structure. It is in the last class I told you in the form of tables you have to store the data, and this table is nothing but what we called it frame. So it consists of collection of slots. See here, see at this point, it consists of collection of slots and slot values. So here is a slot, means the entity, and it has particular value. So these slots may be any type, any size. Slots have names and values which are called facet. This is very important, facet. and definitely this will be asked to you in your exam, final exam. This will be very, very, very important. Now, what? So facets, the various aspects of a slot is known as facets. Various aspect means you may say the various rows are what we call the facet. Facets are the features of the frame which enables us to put constraint on the frames. For example, if needed, facts are called when data of a particular slot is needed. A frame may consist of any number of slots, and a slot may be include any number of facets. So I think you understand. There is a frame means there is a table, and in a table there is a there are slots. These are called slots, and in the slots there are particular facets means there are any number of facets, and the facets may have any number of values. So if we discretely understand this, so first of all there is a frame, and in the frame, if we in the frame it consists of slots, and the slots consists of facets, and the facets consist of many values. So you have to understand this. This is very important. So this how slot filter knowledge representation in an artificial. This is also called slot filter knowledge representation. By storing the knowledge in this particular manner, you can easily if you store the information in a discrete way, it is easy for you or for any algorithm to fetch the answer out of it. If so, that is why frame representation is very popular, but it has certainly some disadvantages and advantages we will see later on. But frames are derived from the semantic network and later evolved into the modern day classes and objects. A single frame is not much useful. Frame system consists of a collection of frames which are connected. In the frame, knowledge about the object or event can be stored together in a, let us say an example. Example 1, let us take an example of frame of a book. So if you see the frame of a book, what particular in a book, what particular informations are there? Always it consists of a title, the genre means the the field to which it belongs to, and then author, then edition, then year, then number of pages. So this is particular kinds of information. So anytime anyhow anyone if want an information regarding a particular book about maybe someone interested with fetching an information regarding the title, or someone interested to fetch out the information with the name with the author. Please mute yourself. Yeah. Or sometimes somebody wants to get an information regarding to the year, so that they can we do if we have data stored in the form of frames. I think everybody understands this is very simple. In the same way, another example is given to you. No worry. So now let's see quickly what are the advantages of frame representation. Yeah. Number 1, the frame knowledge representation makes the programming easier by the grouping the related data. The frame representation is comparable, flexible, and used by many applications. Yeah. It is very easy to add slot because you can anytime you can add or delete something. It is very easy. So these are the advantages, including default data to search the missing value. Frame representation is easy to understand and visualize. I think everybody understands this. There is no something hard that I would like to explain. So advantages of frame representations are this. So now since everything has some advantages, so definitely they have some disadvantages also. Let me go quickly. What are the disadvantages of frame representation? Number 1, in a frame system, inference mechanism is not easily processed. This is very important. Inference, see, if you store the data in such a discrete environment, definitely it is easy to get information, but the inference mechanism is not easily processed, because you then every time you have to inference means discuss. So if somebody questions to this frame, so sometimes it is misunderstood because the data is so discretely stored. you are looking for some title, and sometimes it will give you, you know, title with the name of the author, or you know, the system get confused what to give it to you. I'm just giving you an example. So that is why sometimes, you know, it creates problem. So this is a disadvantage, that the inference mechanism is not be easily processed. It is very good, but it is not easily processed, because every time, for every question, the system has to be, you know, discretely see the query of the user, and then according to that query, it has to, you know, come up with the result. So that is why the inference mechanism is not so easily processed. Second one is inference is smoothly processed by frame representation. This is the same point. Frame representation has much generalized approach. Yeah, it is a much generalized approach, because, you know, everything is properly stored. So I think this is also easy. So let me quickly move towards the last technique. Mind it, these are the techniques. Again, I am telling you, these are the techniques of KB. Techniques of KB. KB means knowledge base. So very important. The last one, production rules, and this also, you know, asked several times in the exams, earlier exams of AI. So very important from exam point of view. So production rules systems consist of, as the name suggested, what is the production rules? You know, in production industry or any, you know, company where the production is going on, certain rules. What are that? So that rules are basically, you know, whether your material that you are going to produce is of standard quality or not. It has, you know, the critical amount of composition is accurately present or not. So this is this, or what you have to produce, and how much you have to produce. This is all comes under production rules. So let me quickly do this. Production rule system consists of condition, action, pairs. This is very important. Means according to the condition, you have to take an action. Let us suppose the demand is low, so you have to shut your, you know, you have to cut down your production. If demand is very high, so definitely you have to, you know, or anyhow, but to a particular condition, you have to take an action. So if condition, then action, it means three parts. Number one, set up production rule, then working memory, and the recognize act cycle. Now what it means, let us cover this. The production rule agent checks the condition, and if conditions exist, then production rules fires and corresponding action is carried out. The condition part of the rules determines which rule may have to see. First of all, you initiated the system that you have to do the action. Now the second thing is what action you have to take place. The condition part is the rule determines which rule may have to apply to the problem, and the action part then carry out the associated steps and complete and called recognize act cycle. I think everybody understand. This is a general way of doing a particular thing. जब भी आप लोग कोई काम करते हैं तो आपके पास यही तीन चीज़ें होती हैं. पहली चीज़, आप वो काम क्यों कर रहे हो. जब आपको पता है कि ये काम करना है तो उस काम को करने के लिए क्या स्टेप्स लेने हैं, और जब वो आपको ये पता लग गया कि ये स्टेप्स लेने हैं तो तीसरा काम हो गया उसको कंप्लीट करना, उस स्टेप को एग्जीक्यूट करना. तो दिस हाउ एवरीथिंग द प्रोडक्शन रूल इन अ जनरल लाइफ इज आल्सो, यू नो, carried out with these three set of rules. Number one, again, what you have to do, you have to first of all met the condition. Once you have that particular condition, you have to take an action, and then you have to plan the action, and after planning the action, there is a execution of the action, and this complete process is called as recognize act cycle. This complete process is known as recognize act cycle. I think everybody understands this. The working memory contains the description of the current states of the problem solving, and the rules can write knowledge of the working memory. This knowledge match and may fire other rules. If there is a new situation generates, then the multiple production rule will be fired together. This is called conflict set. In this situation, the agent needs to select a rule from these sets, and it is called conflict resolution. Yeah, sometimes what will happen, you know, आपके प्रोडक्शन सिस्टम ने कुछ सेट ऑफ रूल्स को एग्जीक्यूट कर दिया कि ये एक्शंस हमने करने हैं. अब वो एक्शंस जो हैं, समटाइम्स व्हाट विल हैपन, उनके अंदर कोई प्रायोरिटी नहीं है एक्शंस के अंदर, और वो दो एक्शन आपने एग्जीक्यूट करे हैं, वो एक्शन जो हैं वो दोनों के दोनों उसको यू नो ट्रैक करना चाहते हैं सिस्टम। नाउ प्रॉब्लम क्या करोगे, यहाँ पे क्या समस्या आएगी कि इनकी प्रायोरिटी सेट नहीं है, तो दे विल go into deadlock. Like in operating system, you learned when two or more process trying to enter into a particular domain, then the deadlock will occur. In the same way here, when two or more processes they are trying to go through a particular system, then the deadlock will occur. तो इनको डेडलॉक को अवॉइड करने के लिए हमें क्या करना पड़ता है, यहाँ पे कन्फ्लिक्ट रेजोल्यूशन देना पड़ता है। अब कन्फ्लिक्ट रेजोल्यूशन क्या है, अब जैसे दो आदमी एक कमरे के अंदर जाना चाह रहे हैं और उनको पता ही नहीं अंदर कोई है कि नहीं है, तो इसका रेजोल्यूशन कैसे कर सकते हैं? आप कमरे के बाहर कोई लाइट लगा दो या कुछ ऐसा लगा दो कि कोई बंदा, जैसे ऑपरेशन थिएटर के अंदर होता है, इफ समबडी इज इनसाइड द लाइट इज ऑन, सो इट मीन्स अनदर वन हैव टू वेट। अदरवाइज क्या होगा कि दो के दो एंटर करने की कोशिश कर सकते हैं। लेकिन इन दिस केस if there is a conflict resolution kind of thing is present, then definitely this problem will not occur. So these are certain example. If at the bus stop and the bus arrives, then action is get into the bus. If the bus on the road and paid and empty seat, then action is sit down. If on the bus and unpaid, then action is paid charges. If bus arrives as a destination, then action get down from the bus. So these are this how production rule for the machine also. And I would like to mention one thing here. Just give me another 5 minutes. I will close this lecture. See, there is fuzzy logic. There is one term called fuzzy logic, and it is very popular nowadays. And if anybody want to do a research, they can do research in this area. Now, fuzzy logic is what I will just give you a hint here. Fuzzy logic is also a set. In fuzzy logic also there is a set of production rule. देखिए, actually आपने in digital, everybody knows in digital electronics there are 0 and 1. So either the something is happen or something is not happen. But everything is not like digital. Like if we move to a restaurant, in a restaurant what will happen? कभी बार ऐसा होता, आपसे अगर मैं पूछूं how is the quality of the food, तो somebody says yes sir good, कुछ बोलेगा yes sir very good, कुछ बोलेगा सर ठीक थी, कुछ बोलेगा very bad, कुछ बोलेगा सर poor. So this is not the digital. We can't say it is completely bad, we can't say it is completely good. So it is a kind of there are multiple levels. There are multiple levels like good and very good and poor, very poor, or not eatable. So there are lot of sets of results. So if you want to design a machine where the possible answers are many like this, so these kind of systems can be designed only with the help of fuzzy logic. So fuzzy logic I think आप सबको समझ में आ गया होगा। फजी लॉजिक जो है वो हम तब यूज़ करते हैं whenever there is a आंसर्स आपके एक से ज़्यादा हों, दो से ज़्यादा हों, और जनरली इन अ कंटिन्यूस लाइफ लाइक अस जो हम जी रहे हैं लाइफ, इसके अंदर हमारे ओपिनियंस जो होते हैं लोगों के वो बहुत सारे होते हैं। सिमिलरली मशीन अगर आप कोई बना रहे हो आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, तो पहले तो वो जो सिंपल इंटेलिजेंस पे काम करती थी वो 0 और 1 पे काम करती थी, कभी या तो चलेगी या बंद हो जाएगी। लेकिन आजकल हमें क्या चाहिए कि वो सेंस उसके अंदर आ जाए। जैसे कि आपने देखा होगा एक्सेलेटर पे देखा होगा आपने, आप किसी मॉल में गए हो तो एक्सेलेटर वो देखता है कि यहाँ बंदा ही नहीं है तो ऑटोमेटिकली स्लो डाउन हो जाता है, फिर धीरे धीरे बंद हो जाता है, और फिर मतलब थोड़ा थोड़ा चलता भी रहता है। अगर जैसे कोई बंदा उसमें सोता है तो थोड़ी थोड़ी देर तक चलता रहता है, क्योंकि वो वेट करता है। क्योंकि इससे क्या होता है, बाय डूइंग दिस देयर इज अ सेव ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिसिटी। इन द सेम वे लिफ्ट के अंदर भी ऐसा होता है। लिफ्ट जो है वो वेट करती है एक पर्टिकुलर डेस्टिनेशन पे, जो आपने प्रोग्रामिंग उसके अंदर फिट करी होती है। तो देयर आर मल्टीपल स्टेट्स, व्हाट आई वांट टू से देयर आर द मल्टीपल स्टेट्स, एंड द मल्टीपल स्टेट प्रॉब्लम कैन बी ओनली सॉल्व्ड बाय फजी लॉजिक. I think everybody understands this. So what are the advantages of production rule? The production rules are expressed in the natural language. This is very important. The natural language, just like I am saying here, it is good, bad, very poor, very very poor. So very good. And another, the production rule is highly modular, so we can easily remove, add or modify. Yes, we can easily modify it. And disadvantages, production rule sometimes does not segregate any learning, capabilities, because these are the certain rules that we came to know and then we put it in across the machine. So it does not exhibit any learning capabilities. And during the execution of program, many rules, many actives, rules-based production system is inefficient. Sometimes it is inefficient. So I think everybody understand this. I must say somebody of you have thinking about how to work on fuzzy logic, how we can work on fuzzy logic. There are several tools available in the market, in like MATLAB and several many, through which we can programming on fuzzy logic. So I also hope if anybody of you who want to do something on hardware, nowadays it is implemented on the fuzzy logic. And fuzzy logic, if you want to know it more about the fuzzy logic, you can go on my channel. There is a video I already made how to made a fuzzy logic systems. So I hope with this hope everybody, I think I am able to explain each and everything. What are the various techniques? Let me quickly show you what we covered today. Number one is logical representation, in which we covered propositional and predicate logic. Then we covered semantic network representation. In semantic network, there is a semantic tree, and then frame there is a facet and objects, and in the production rule, it's a set of rules. So with this hope, if you have any query, let me ask you, buddy. Yes, anybody having any problem, you may ask me, or otherwise I'll ask somebody. Okay, I think everybody clear this thing. So let me quickly move towards one. Yeah, Vanshika Rai. Vanshika, what is what is facet? Vanshika. Okay, I think she is unable to mute herself. So let me quickly move towards next one. Srishti Nadar, can you explain what is facet? I think ये भी लेट आई है, उसको भी नहीं पता होगा. Okay, let me move to Mohammad Asif. Mohammad Asif, yes.
सर आपने बताया था कि these are the various aspects of a slot.
Yeah. By various
Aspects of a slot, sir. Slot के
Yeah.
various aspects होते हैं, उसको हम facets बोलते हैं. आपको पता है कि frames में बहुत सारे slots होते हैं. Then slots are further classified in facets, and facets have the values.
Very good, great. So I think nobody have no doubt, or those who join later, they can watch this video later on on my channel. So still, if you have any query, I am more happy to address it. Otherwise, मैं इस क्लास को यहीं पे एंड करना चाह रहा हूँ. किसी को कोई डाउट है तो पूछ सकता है.